Hey, what's up guys? My name's Sammy and welcome back to the iAuthority Network. And today, for the second video, I wanted to talk about the Galaxy S9 Plus and the regular S9 and why I'm not excited for it and why I can't recommend picking it up. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, the first reason why I can't recommend the Galaxy S9 and also why I'm not excited for it is the design isn't changing. So in 2017, it was all about the year of removing bezels on phones, and, well, Samsung has always been the leader in changing the way the devices look from cycle to cycle. For example, the S7 is significantly different from the S8 in design and features. Well, this time, reports are saying that, for one, it's not going to change, and that's disappointing because, to be honest, it's not the best front-looking display. And by display, I mean kind of the design. And even the display itself, at least in my opinion, is not really a big hit. I am not a fan of the curved edges, but if you are, that's great. But either way, we're not talking about the edges. We're just talking about the front design, which is going to remain the same. There are reports that it will get a little smaller, but it's not enough, being that Samsung has been the leader of innovation from version of Galaxy to different version of Galaxy. It's always had somewhat of a radical change throughout the years. So to hear that the S9 will not ditch the bottom chin on the front of the phone is disappointing and also not exciting. The second reason is the camera on the regular S9 is not changing. So from the Galaxy S7 to the Galaxy S8, there wasn't a camera upgrade. They pretty much just added different layers to the camera application within the software. Which, yeah, it's a good camera upgrade overall. I'm sure it helps, but it's not going to change the overall quality of the raw taken photo. And that's a big thing with smartphones now, is camera. And yeah, you can only put such a good camera on a smartphone, but they haven't upgraded their camera since the S7. And to be honest, it's not really justifiable to charge more for a phone when you have pretty much the same specifications as last year's model, with the exception of a removed fingerprint reader on the back. And it's just not enough. So yes, I would also like to bring up the Galaxy S9 Plus's dual lens camera. My thoughts on that are, we already have that with the Galaxy Note 8, and I'll elaborate more on this in my third point, which I'm going to get to right now. So point number 3, the price isn't justified. So tying back into the first 2 points, for one, the design on the front isn't changing at all, and the design on the back is only getting tweaked. They are moving the fingerprint reader from next to the camera to beneath it. Yeah, that's a great move. I know a lot of people who were very unhappy, and I myself did not like the fact that the fingerprint reader was right next to the camera because it was impossible to find it the first time. But that's not enough. It's really not enough innovation, design-wise, when in today's world, the way a smartphone looks is very important, as we learned in 2017. People are no longer looking at what a smartphone can do because they can all do about the same thing. It's all about the way it looks now. And the difference between the S8 and the S9 is so minimal that it doesn't make it worth it. So that's why with point number 3 I'm saying price. Because without a doubt in my mind, the prices of the S9 and the S9 Plus are going to be higher than the Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus. Despite the fact that I highly doubt there will be any software changes. There'll probably be tweaks and it'll ship with Android 8.0 Oreo. But there won't be just enough changes and innovation to the phone to really justify the increasing price of it, especially since you can get a much better phone on a much better phone overall. That's significantly cheaper than what the S9 and S9 Plus series will offer. So with that said, I cannot say that it's justified at all price-wise. Without a doubt in my mind, it'll be somewhere in the $1,000 range for the S9 Plus. As for the S9, I can't really say. I just know that the S9 will kind of be the way the iPhone 7 was next to the 7 Plus. Except this time there will have already been a phone that Samsung offers with the dual camera that you can get cheaper, that being the Note 8, and you could definitely get more out of it than you would get out of the S9 and S9 Plus. And that's why I'm saying price, as my third point, is completely unjustified. Moving on to my fourth reason why I am not excited for the S9 Plus and I can't recommend it, is every feature Samsung has put on a phone has felt like an afterthought. They are the leaders of putting features in smartphones, and to be honest, they've all felt like an afterthought. Now, when Apple put the fingerprint reader on the iPhone 5S in 2014, I believe, it started a trend. It became the thing to do. And ever since then, smartphones have been releasing fingerprint readers built into the phone, which is great. Apple made that the standard. But Samsung puts new features in their phones all the time, and they're not becoming the standard. Why? Well, because they've kind of always been an afterthought. A perfect example is the Face ID, or facial recognition. That's definitely been on Galaxy devices before iPhones, I'm not going to argue that, but it's never worked all too well. It was easily fooled with pictures, and if it even looked relatively similar, not like crazy 1 in 500,000 set of twins similar, it would unlock. And that's a perfect example. That's one. Another one is the fingerprint reader on the Galaxy S8. It's on the back right next to the camera. It's always kind of been an afterthought. Now, with the Galaxy S9, yes, they are improving that by moving it beneath the camera, but still, this just shows it was an afterthought. I'd imagine since Apple put Face ID on the iPhone 10, that this year they will up the bar a little bit with their facial recognition, but I can't see them putting any new features on the S9 and S9 Plus that either A, haven't already been done by Apple, Google, or OnePlus, or Huawei for that matter, or LG, and two, if there are any new features, it won't be great. It'll kind of be like a gimmick, kind of like the curved display is. It's not really useful. It's kind of just a gimmick. It's like a standout thing, like, hey, Samsung devices are the only phones that have a curve on the display, and it's like, that's great, but what does it bring to the phone? It doesn't really bring all too much, considering it doesn't do much, and Samsung Galaxy devices are not the best with touch rejection, so it's just not enough. And it's kind of like an afterthought, because ever since it was released on the I believe it was the 6, yeah, it was the S6 Edge and S6 Edge Plus, it hasn't really changed. It's kind of been the same. So those are all examples of why I just feel like every feature they put into the S series that hasn't already been done is very much an afterthought. They like to wait until other companies get it right, which that's a good thing. It shows they kind of do care about their stuff, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel like enough upon release, and upon release is kind of a big thing. So number 4, why I can't recommend it. The features all feel like an afterthought. The fifth and final reason why I am not excited for the Galaxy S9 or S9 Plus and can't recommend buying it is simply because, well, we are seeing other companies bring much more to the table. We are seeing Apple, which, yeah, they've always been a big player, but now the game's kind of changed. I've always said Apple was the best, but they've really become the best, noticeably. The difference between the iPhone 7s and 8s and the 10 is they kind of raised the bar. It was like Tim Cook said, we've been leading the industry for the last 10 years. It's time to lead it again for the next 10 years. And I just don't feel like the Galaxy devices are doing that. They're not really trying to outperform the other devices. And when I say that, I mean they aren't bringing originality to it. They have the curved display, and that's about it, and that's already been done. The second reason is because those two, the iPhone and the Pixels, they just have better cameras, and the cameras have shown improvement over time. And because of that, I just feel like, well, why would I go to a Galaxy when I can get a better camera, a faster phone, and a better experience on either an iPhone or a Pixel? Because, well, back to the third point, this integrates with the 5th, they're getting more expensive. The Galaxy devices will get more expensive. So because I can get more out of, say, an iPhone 8 Plus than the S9, what would be the reason I go get the S9 that is going to be significantly more expensive over the 8 Plus when it can provide a better experience and really, honestly, save a lot of hit on the wallet? Plus, you can just do more. If you're looking for an Android experience, I would honestly recommend either, if you want to stay within the Samsung realm, I honestly recommend the Note 8. That's the most standout phone Samsung brought to the table in 2017. It's the only one that I feel like really pushed the bar forward. The S8 and S8 Plus were just kind of a, hey, look what we have. We're going to compete with the iPhone. But the iPhone and the Pixel both brought better stuff to the table. On the iPhone and the Pixel, they both brought stereo speakers. The Pixel has them on the front. The iPhone has one in the bar at the top, the little earpiece, and on the side. So there's really no reason to go out and buy the Galaxy S9 or S9 Plus. Now, there are people that are going to argue, yes, it has a headphone jack still. It's retaining that. But we were at the point now in 2018, and we were kind of getting there in 2017, where Bluetooth headphones have definitely taken over that market. And you can get headphones that will last a lot longer, simply because they're wireless. You don't have to worry about the cord breaking or anything like that. Yes, Samsung will kind of retain an audience because it has the headphone jack still, but overall, in 2017, we saw that yes, we can live without the headphone jack. Audio is only going to get better and more convenient without it. So with that said, with all those 5 reasons said, the main point is that's why I am not excited for the Galaxy S9 or S9 Plus, and why I don't recommend buying it, especially because we have gotten much better things this past year than we will get from Samsung this year. So, with that said, I hope you liked the video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to just go down, hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. And if you want to stay up to date with the latest videos, be sure to hit the little bell icon. That way you can stay informed and you'll get a little pop-up notification every time I post a video. Alright guys, this is Sammy from the iAuthority Network. Until next time, peace.